Hello wonderful bookish friends, it is day 2 or 3 of me trying to find the cutest bookshop in London, and this time I thought I'd take you along for the journey and show you everything. And you can see, so far I've been to Foyles, which I'll show you later on. It was really massive and totally not my vibe. There was 5 floors, it was incredibly hectic in one of the most busy squares in London. Today I'm going to leave London a little bit. So it's kind of cheating, but it's close, So I'm by St Paul's Church, which is right there, the River Thames and Blackfriars Bridge, which is said to have one of the most beautiful views of the city. It's quite lovely in London. It's one of my favourite areas because Shakespeare's Globe Theatre is right there, the National Theatre is there, the Tate Modern is there, so I love this area so much. It's called the South Bank, and if you get a chance to come to London, this is the area that I would suggest that you come to 100%. Because everywhere you turn there's an iconic London landmark. It's incredibly beautiful, there's lots more fresh air, and I love being by the water as well. I guess it reminds me of the sea. But today we're going to take a little train from Blackfriars. It's about an hour. My best friend's going to meet me. She called me yesterday and she was like, I know you're on the hunt for bookshops, always. And then she sent me photos, and in the photos there is just the sweetest little bookshop with cozy armchairs. So I was like, okay, Saturday in London, it's way too busy for me anyway. I would take a little train and come and see. So it's in a little adorable town. I can't remember the name, so when I get there I'll show you. And hopefully we're going to have lovely cute time in cafes and exploring the bookshop and hopefully finding some books that I want to. And then tomorrow I might head to Clapham Common Books, which is one of my favourites. And that's a little independent. So we're looking for like independence preferably as well, obviously being that's my vibe. And I'm just really excited that you're coming along with me for the adventure. Let's go! You get 3 free postcards from this little basket when you spend £10 on art books. Okay, I'm here in this amazing little bookshop called Much Ado About Books. It is possibly one of my new favourite bookshops of all time. There's tiny little rooms, books from floor to ceiling. Every room is a different genre. There's comfy armchairs, artwork everywhere, a garden. I have brought 3 of my top non-fiction books that I've read recently to show you. These are some of the ones I would recommend if you're new to non-fiction. To the Women by Donna Ashworth has got wise words from different women, and it's talking about if you wish that you were good enough. They're poems, essays, kind of short, like little excerpts really. But they're all about maybe finding yourself and finding yourself worthy. So if you're looking for a book for a gift for someone, this is a really nice one. If you want to get, you know, a young woman, this would be perfect. And it's full of wisdom and joy. Secondly, Enchantment by Catherine May. I saw some lovely people commenting, have I read Wintering by Catherine May, which I have and I loved. Why Women Grow and Wintering are 2 of my favourite books about that seasonal living and kind of embracing that. And Enchantment is reawakening wonder in an exhausted age. I think this is really important, and I think that this is something that bookshops do really well. Obviously we're full of wonder, and I think when you're surrounded by this many books and people's creativity, you can't help but be excited about life because you're always finding something that you're interested in. But this book is a book if you are wanting to rediscover that wonder. Lastly, Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. I've made no secret of it. I've got a strong faith myself. So if you have any prayer requests, as always, we're so happy to pray for you. Please just pop them in the comments below and I'll make sure to add them to our prayer list. But this one is a really beautiful one if you're maybe exploring Christianity and want kind of to learn some fundamentals. But C.S. Lewis, who obviously wrote The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, as a kind of Christian engagement for children, a Christian fantasy, in order to talk about that representation of Aslan as God and what that means to have mercy and give your life for others. But this one was written during the Second World War, and he gave a series of lectures, so they're kind of short essays, I believe. Yet the law of human nature, we have cause to be uneasy, the practical conclusion, Christianity, hard or easy, they're still remarkably apropos to today's modern society, and very readable and very easy to read, and really interesting at exploring what it means to be a Christian and your faith. So I would recommend this if you're Christian, or if you're not, if you haven't read it, 100%. This book's so good, by Alice Vincent. It's all about why women grow, and it's about nature and as women getting back into nature and how we connect with gardening and therefore with ourselves. William Shakespeare's portrait is just over here, and I think this is a whole room of kind of Shakespeare inspired books. The bookshop is called Much Ado, about books, and it's based on the Shakespeare play Much Ado About Nothing, which is one of my favourites. I love Beatrice, and I recently went to see Tom Hiddleston and Hayley Atwell in a new production of it in London, which was incredible. But for me, the Emma Thompson film will always be extraordinary, just because the screenplay is so well done. But if you have a favourite Shakespeare, I'd love to know. Pop it below. Okay, after lots and lots of walking, I think we finally reached it. Does anyone else do this the moment they enter a bookshop? They're just like scanning for all of the books that they've read. These are all the ones that I've read, in all of them in the last year actually. They're fairly modern books and they're really good. So I'm liking their display so far. Okay, this bookshop is unbelievably huge. It's across 5 floors and there's even a cafe. I've pulled out some of my favourites to show you, but even trying to find a quiet space is overwhelming. I did, however, make it to the Sarah J Maas Night Court display that they've got. I was a little underwhelmed, but I'll show it to you anyway, and it was kind of cool because that's the book I'm reading at the moment, so I'll show you some of these. So I picked up a copy of Little Women. I'm not actually keen on this cover, but we are doing it for our book club in September in the bookshop by the sea. So if you want to read along with us, like, please do, that would be so much fun. And we can even, if you're UK based, send you out our Little Women copy, which I think is nicer than this one because this one has a very, very little font, and I like classics where you can read them a bit easier. But I do love Little Women. The other one that I do love the front cover of, this is The Book Thief. And that's actually a really nice cover of it, I think. This one is a young adult book set in Nazi Germany, and it's about a little girl's relationship with death, who's a character in the book. I think it's brilliant. On my way to Clapham Bookshop in Clapham Common Old Town. It's one of my favourite bookshops because it's so charming and they have such a great selection. The books, every single one on the shelf, is completely gripping, and I'm really hoping they have a copy of Catabasis, which is Ara Kwan's latest book, and I've loved her others, so I'm excited for this one. I've heard her talk about it a lot already, so let's see if we can find it.